We're not talking about your typical smash and grab here. Police say these guys did the same thing every time. They cut the phones and the power, work their way inside, then use a crowbar to pry open the safe. That's exactly how it went down at this T-Mobile store. A nurse caught Vogel touching her husband's IV line and later trying to empty it into the trash. But possibly the most telling evidence, police say they searched her purse and in the center pocket pulled out a Ziploc bag that had 3 syringes with the same brown liquid as her husband's IV. Why there are fire restrictions in place, there's still a lot of dry brush here. And just look at this thing. The entire pole came down, bringing down the lights and the sign with it. Let me see if I can illustrate the smell alone for you. We know that flies are attracted to waste, rot. Look how many found their way just into our live van. And that is just a small portion of how many were here not long ago. But that's not just because there are farm animals around here. Deputies tell me the dogs alone were crammed into cages back there, 12 per cage, living in filth. I'm out at the edge of the fire lines of the San Marcos fire. There's not just thick smoke in the air, ash is now flying, and just seconds ago started these small little spot fires. Embers are blowing around. This tree is going to go up in no time. Fire crews are even further down this road. One of them just backed into that driveway so they can start putting this fire out. Also, we've seen further down the road in this direction, homeowners spraying water on their homes with garden hoses, trying their best to protect them. Further down, there are people with farm animals, horses. We saw them corralling them, trying to get them out of here. This whole situation, the sky, look at the sun. Can you see that right above? It's blood orange right now. This situation has changed drastically in just the last 45 minutes. There are new evacuation orders. We're hearing sirens every second. Everyone is on the move. This has become a very volatile situation. We will keep you updated as we move ahead of this fire.
All right, Nohe, stay safe out there.
It's no small task wrangling 79 cats, trying to fit them into boxes like this. They're not very big. And in fact, I've still seen 3 cats wandering the neighborhood in just the last couple of minutes. But just look at the damage he did. That car totally shredding the wall of this house. Underneath all of that debris, you can even see his hubcap left behind.
Down trees, power lines sparking, a lot to cover tonight. Show us what you found.
Absolutely. The chainsaws are buzzing in the East Valley tonight as crews try to downsize some of the giant trunks that came crashing down around the area. The roots on this tree alone going vertical more than 5 feet into the air. But this is a scene mirrored throughout these neighborhoods. However, everyone has a slightly different story of how it all went down. When you're a kid in Arizona, a summer rain seems like the perfect time to get outside.
We were just out here playing basketball.
Until the wind takes a shot at the 100-year-old tree next to your court.
The tree was falling. I'm like, oh my gosh, because like the roots took off.
The kids run for cover just as the branches pull a power line down with it at Holmes Elementary.
And then everything turned white.
I heard a lot of noise, explosion.
It didn't take a giant tree, just a poorly positioned one to send sparks flying at Jesus Leiva's house.
You can see the flames that was right there with the smoke.
His neighbor's tree snapped right over the fence onto a power line, sending a surge to his supply box strong enough to blast a hole through his roof.
We got a hole right here.
But his lights didn't even flicker.
No power, no nothing, there's no lights.
Shane Flores can't say the same. No trees to blame on his block.
The pole was just bent over.
Just the pure strength of the wind causing a power pole to lean and knocking him back into the dark ages.
On the other side of this wall here, we have more candles.
Candles, flashlights, and the kindness of strangers.
We have 1% on the phones, and so we just went and asked the neighbor to charge our phone.
Getting his family through the storm. Phones can't charge. The AC doesn't work either, so some are actually getting in their cars just to cool off. Crews are working to get that pole fixed. That was on Hobson and Southern. And the tree that you saw at Holmes Elementary, I'm told, is taped off. I did see that, but they said that they'll be getting to that to clear it away probably tomorrow.
No, hey, you've been going over this new security video. She was gone for 40 minutes?
And Katie, you know, for a lot of moms, not having your eye on your child for even 1 minute is enough to make you frantic. Add to that, this little boy was alone in the car, but what you see in this security video is there was nothing urgent about getting this shopping trip done at all. And this looks impressive enough, right? The water almost above my boots here, almost knee high. That's what it started with just the rain. Then those basins overflowed this afternoon, and I followed a man to his house that is just on the other side of this wall. I can tell tell you at one point we were thigh deep in water, and there is no sign of it draining tonight. Because in the tree line here, there is still fire burning at the bottom. You can't see that, but you can see the smoke that's still drifting through. So there is still an active fire burning in there. And about with her dad right now, 75th Avenue is still closed, and you can see why right behind me. The two cars are still here, absolutely mangled, haven't even been towed yet. And if you see, the evidence markers are still out, and they show the path that one of the cars took, traveling from one side about a half a block down and ended up in the opposite lane.
Right now we are live on breaking news, and ABC 15's Nohelani Graf joining us from 35th Avenue in Roosevelt.
And Nohe, I know you've been talking with police. What are you learning about this?
Well, what I can tell you so far is, one, we do know that there was a shooting. Two, we know that an officer and another person were taken to the hospital. We have not been able to confirm yet if either of them were shot or if they were hurt in another way. I also want to tell you about this couple that's standing right behind those cameras. I just spoke to them. They live in this area. We're on 33rd Avenue and Fillmore. They actually heard the gunshots earlier this evening. They were watching television, came outside not knowing what they would see, and then they saw a rush of police officers. The scene itself is closer to 35th Avenue and Roosevelt, and from Air 15 we saw them looking through what looks to be Falcon Park with flashlights. We don't know if they're looking for another suspect. We do not know how many people were involved in the total incident. In the meantime, we are waiting for another update from Phoenix Police. We will keep you posted, but right now an officer and one other person in the hospital tonight. Steve and Stephanie.
We have team coverage tonight, beginning with Nohelani Graf at the fire lines. Conditions starting to resemble last night.
Yeah, they are, Steve and Katie. It's all about the wind, and what's actually just started to happen is a new round of wind has kicked up, moving in a different direction, so it is blowing the smoke in from across the street. It's a little hard to breathe. It's making my eyes pretty sensitive, but the wind will change things in a second. We were just across the street not long ago and about a block down, and all of a sudden there were flames in there. The smoke was blowing our way. I can't even tell you how far back this fire stretches because it's so thick. We were on the run at one point, but there are a lot of locals around here who are not willing to leave just that easily.
Drastically worse. It's coming up that hill because it's in the big eucalyptus trees right now.
Sean Hunt watches as the wind quickly stokes fire lines across the street from his property.
I've seen it get all the way to the road here. It's underneath the trees.
Flames jump into open fields. Propane tanks explode nearby. Still, Hunt holds out on his hill, exit plan ready.
I have a road that goes through, yeah. I'm the only one that has a road that goes out to the bottom, so.
What happens that makes you take that road and get out of here?
Seen it cross the field.
Seconds later,
Holy crap, that's my way out.
embers blow into the grass on his hill. Spot fires ignite.
Hey, go get my fire hose. Will you unhook it and bring it over to this fire hydrant?
A last-ditch effort, and it's time to move.
Definitely getting nerve-wracking now.
So this is where we interviewed Sean. See that brown house back there? We were just above that, and look at this entire blackened hillside right below it. Also, right over to this house, there were flames surrounding the back of that house. You can see there's a fire crew. Those are actually an inmate fire team that are working, doing some gridding to find hot spots. They managed to put those flames out. That's what the fire is like out here. It is ever changing. We are staying on top of it for you. And we're going to let you know how it changes as the night goes on, Steve and Katie. But it's scary, it's intense, and it's heartbreaking when you know how many homes are in that path of smoke that you just can't see right now.